Yo, what's good, everyone? Sideshow MMA here, and today we just got a bunch of fight announcements and just news in general with the UFC and MMA, so we're going to be covering it in this video, so let's get right into it. By the way, if I sound sick, it's because I am. Yeah. Starting with the first one, though, UFC 317 main event has been announced. It'll be Charles Oliveira taking on Ilia Topuria in the main event on June 28th for the vacant lightweight title. So, Islam Makhachev is moving up, as we expected. He's going to take on JDM at some point, probably in October, if I had to guess, which is going to be a banger, honestly. I'm going to talk about that fight first before I get into Ilia versus Charles. Ilia versus Charles. I think JDM could beat him, dude. I really do. I know styles make fights, but Islam struggled against Volk, dude. A 145er moving up. JDM's a big welterweight, dude. He was big in there against Bilal. He's dense. He's tall. He's got great takedown defense. He stuffed I think all of Bilal's takedowns. Like, he looked amazing, dude. He looked really, really good. A refined ability to defend takedowns, some may say. You know, he did have one arm in the Burns fight, but a refined ability, in my opinion. I never saw him look that fluid in defending takedowns. The boxing looked amazing. He could beat Islam. As that fight gets closer, I may change my mind on that, but right now I'm leaning JDM 100%. But yeah, on to Ilia versus Charles. Dude, I mean, Ilia versus Makhachev, of course it would have been ideal, but this is a fucking banger, dude. Like, I just hope Ilia doesn't do some dumb shit and, like, try and sub him or something. You know? Because, like, he does kind of give me those vibes, like, he might just try and prove a point and try and sub Oliveira. I know he said he would do that to Makhachev, but, like, guys say that shit all the time. Stuff like that, you know? I don't think he'll do it, but I'm a little worried he might. But I'm picking Ilia. I think Ilia will chin Oliveira within 3 rounds. We know the power translates to 155. He KO'd Jai Herbert. I know it's Jai Herbert, but still. He got hurt badly in that fight, recovered almost immediately, was right onto a single leg, had power in the next round, and was able to KO Jai Herbert. Charles Oliveira, I know when he gets hurt, it's different because a lot of times he is just falling down and, like, almost baiting someone into jumping in for ground and pound to get them in his guard, but he gets hurt quite easily. Like, he does get hurt quite easily. He was almost put out by Michael Chandler in round 5 in his last fight. You know, I don't know, dude. I don't like it for Oliveira. I love it for Ilia. I think this is stylistically an easier matchup for him than Makhachev. I think Oliveira will be a little reckless early on, and which will allow Ilia to counter. He counters things really well, especially when they get reckless. Look at the Josh Emmett fight. I know it's different styles of fighting, but still. So I'm picking Ilia. I think he'll KO Oliveira, and he'll probably fight Makhachev if he loses at 170 next. I think that's next. So yeah, I mean, Ilia's resume is going to be fucking amazing. If he beats Charles and then fights Islam, I mean, that's Volk, Max, Oliveira, Makhachev. Like, I don't know if anyone's ever had a run like this, you know? But I'm getting ahead of myself. On to the next fight. We got Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. UFC 319. Dricus du Plessis will defend his middleweight title against Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 319 on August 16th. So, this is a fire fight. I'm leaning DDP, if I'm being honest. I understand why people are picking Khamzat because he destroyed Whitaker, and we never see Whitaker get destroyed like that, especially that easily, that quickly. But dude, hypothetically, if Dricus survives the first round, let's say Khamzat puts an onslaught on Dricus in the first round, destroys him, gets him down, lands ground and pound, attempts submissions. DDP had a tough round 1. He definitely lost it. What happens in round 2? You know? What happens in round 3? What happens in round 4? What happens in round 5? We know Dricus has 5-round cardio. We know he has 5-round cardio. He's been 5 rounds. I think twice he went the full 5 now. You know? Like, we haven't seen Khamzat go 5. I think the Whitaker fight was 5 rounds, but he finished it in a 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, arguable draw to Usman at up a weight class on short notice. I don't know, dude. I think Dricus is going to be a little bigger than Khamzat. I think this is going to be tougher than people assume, dude. I think people people may assume Khamzat goes in there and either easily finishes DDP or I don't think are people picking Khamzat to win by decision? How can you do that? You have to pick Khamzat by finish. And I trust in DDP's defense and ability to survive that he won't get finished in round 1. I don't know. I think DDP beats Khamzat, and I think he might even TKO him in the 4th. As the rounds go on, as Khamzat's tired, as he burnt his load in round 1, going for a finish when DDP is maybe susceptible a little bit, doesn't know Khamzat's going to come in there and shoot right away, gets him down, has the back, tries to land damage. Maybe it's close to a finish or almost nearly has a choke, but DDP survives, and Khamzat is fucking tired because he gets tired really easily. So we'll see. Obviously, for a title fight, he's probably doing a little more conditioning. But we'll see, dude. I'm leaning DDP, like I said. I'm sure opinions will shift and change maybe slightly, or after I rewatch some film, I'll notice some things. But as of now, I'm leaning DDP. On to the next announcement. We got Kaikar France versus Alexandre Pantoja in the 317 co-main event. Another banger. I don't think this is super deserved. I honestly think Royval deserves it more, but Royval versus Cap is also on the UFC 317 card, and I'm leaning Royval in that one, if I'm being honest. But I think Royval is more deserving of a title shot than Kaikar France. I know we already saw Royval versus Pantoja, but and no one really wants to see that again. I don't want to see that again, but Royval's very good. Stylistically, I don't think he'll ever beat Pantoja, and I know this is a more exciting fight. I'm going Pantoja. I think maybe Kaikar France gives him some difficulties in the striking early, but I think Pantoja will figure him out early. I don't think he'll get chinned. He doesn't get chinned. And I know Kaikar France put out Urseg, but Urseg is shown to be a bit chinny, dude. Rocked by Matthew Schnell. I think he was hurt by Moreno a few times in that one. KO'd stiff by Kaikar France. So, it is what it is. I don't know if Urseg has the best chin, and I don't think Kaikar France will KO Pantoja. I think this will be a somewhat dominant performance from Pantoja, if I'm being honest. I think Royval deserves it more, like I said, but Royval versus Cap is also on this card. I don't have it pulled up here, but I'll talk about it real quick. I think Royval is very good, and I think people are underestimating him. I love Manel Cap, one of my favorite fighters for sure, but I don't think he'll beat Royval. I think Royval is a little too long for him. I know when Manel Cap enters a flow state, there's no one like him, and he really he's in a different mode, dude. He's untouchable. He's flowing. It's crazy. Not to glaze, but dude, come on. I don't think he'll be able to find that flow state against Royval. I think Royval will keep him at bay with his jab, and Royval will outstrike him, maybe even hurt him at a point. And yeah, that fight's 3 rounds, dude. I think Royval will do enough. But 3 rounds favors Cap, if I'm being honest. But I think Royval will do enough throughout 3 rounds. But yeah, I'm picking Pantoja to win. I'm picking Royval to win. On to the next announcement. Shar Magomedov versus Marc-Andre Barriault. Fire. This is a great fight. I love that Marc-Andre Barriault's getting right back in there after beating Bruno Silva. I love that. I think he cracked his fucking skull, dude. So Shara's got something coming. But I'm picking Shar Magomedov to win. I just think he's too good for Marc-Andre Barriault. I don't think he'll KO him. And I don't think Marc-Andre Barriault will be able to find Shar's chin. I think Shar's a little too fast. Bounces in and out of movement. Bounces in and out of range a little too well. Uses his movement too well. And I think he'll piece up Marc-Andre Barriault as the fight goes on and win a decision. On to the next announcement. Marlon. Yeah, this is an announcement, not a fight announcement, by the way. This sucks. So Chito Vera is out of his fight in UFC 316 in I think about 2 weeks. With Mario Batista. Is it 2 weeks? We got Burns Morales this weekend, and then Barber Blanchfield, and then UFC. Yeah, so 2 weeks. Bout with Mario Batista on June 7th. So the card takes a fucking toll. This was one of the only good fights on the card, if I'm being completely honest. It's an $80 pay-per-view. Come on. We need more substance. Hopefully they give Batista maybe another fight. I don't know, dude. I don't know if Jan is ready to go this quickly. I know he's looking for a fight, and it would be unfair to throw him in that fight, but they're going to feed him to fucking Marcus McGee, dude, which makes no sense, but I don't think Jan will be ready. Maybe Umar? They don't take fights on short notice, those Dagestanis. I don't know, dude. Batista might be off the card. They might just try and rebook this at a later date. I mean, I'm making a video soon about how the product of the UFC this year has been exceptionally bad. And Dana White's to blame. I've got that video in the making right now. It's gonna take some time because I'm going through every card. But yeah, so that's coming. But dude, I mean, it's like fight cancellations have been at a different fucking rate this year, dude. I don't know what's going on. And it's not even like the most hyped up, like it's not main events really. Like I know Armin is one, but like it's not main events that are getting like canceled, like huge fights. It's like these ones, like that you're like excited for, that like are making a card, like holding up a card, dude. It's like these are the fights that get canceled, and then it's like, well, fuck, now what? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, even last week, the Benoit Saint Denis, Joel Alvarez fight, like that fight's off, and the card is significantly worse. So this has been happening a ton this year. I mean, I know there's nothing the UFC can do about it, because it's just these guys are getting fucking hurt because it's fighting. I get it, but dude, like, shit's annoying. On to the next announcement. Oh yeah, Dana White still remains confident that John Jones versus Tom Aspinall will happen and expects to announce it soon. This is great news. I think Aspinall finishes Jones quite easily. I don't know about easily, maybe quick. I think Aspinall will finish Jones quickly. I can really, really, really see this being announced, there being a date, maybe a month before Jones pulling out, and someone else steps in on short notice. Jones retires as the champ, and then someone steps in on short notice for the vacant belt. I could so see that happening. He's now the longest reigning heavyweight champ ever. So, you know, I could so see that being a thing, dude, where he pulls out and he already has that achievement under his belt. And it doesn't look like he's scared because he took the fight, but this was his plan all along. You know, he's not actually injured. He's just fucking shit scared of Aspinall. I'd be shocked if they actually fight. I can see the fight being announced. I can see there being a date, see there being an arena, everything like that. I'd be shocked if this fight actually took place. That's all I got to say in this one. I know the whole UFC 317 card did get announced, but I can't go through every single fight. Maybe I can, actually. Maybe I can. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it here at the end. MMA Orbit is clutch here. I think, did I pass it? No, that's something else. I did see it get announced. Yeah, here we go. All right. Quick one. I'm picking Ilya to beat Charles. I'm picking Pantoja to beat Kai Kara France. Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov. That's heat, dude. That's super, super fire. I'm leaning Kopylov, dude. I think Costa's so inactive, and he never really impresses me. He never really looks good. I'm picking Kopylov. I think he'll dominate, if I'm being honest. Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. I wish they would have given that Dariush matchup to Ruffy. Made a little more sense to get him in the rankings, you know, a little further down, but I get it, I guess. I think Moicano will mop the floor with Dariush at this point. Tafa versus Deniz. I'm going Deniz. It's never pick a Tafa bro to win anything. We talked about Cap versus Royval. I'm picking Royval. Hermanson versus Gregory Rodriguez. That's a sick fight. That's a sick, sick fight. I don't know, dude. I might just lean Hermanson. I don't know. I have to think about that one a little more. And then we're skipping that. But yeah. Anyway, appreciate everyone watching. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.